Hi everyone, today we have a new video review, and as you can see, this time we are going to talk about fresh release from Zvezda. It's a small scale tank in 1/72 scale. It copies KV-2, so a Soviet heavy tank, and it might be interesting for modders who have not assembled this tank or they would like to have a small scale option. So that's why some of you were asking to buy it, and actually some of you actually donated in order to get it. And first thing first, I have to say that this redesign of the packaging is ugly, and I completely do not understand why they decided to make it, because the logo is really lame and all of these lines are also very strange. So I would be happy to hear your opinion. What do you think? But for me, it's completely a downgrade in comparison with what was before. At least the box art is nice because it comes from the same painter. From what I can see, the box size is surprisingly big for a 1/72 scale kit, so here is comparison with my hand. Also on the side here you can see some information about the kit, but we will talk about it a bit later. Here we have also 3 other kits. I reviewed them as well, so you can find them easily on the YouTube channel. And here we have also the assembled model, and it's actually painted model as well. We have the short history note here. And we also have some info about the kit. So there are 150 parts, and assembled model will be 9.6 centimeters long. 150 parts is quite a parts count for 1/72 aircraft. As you remember, we reviewed Yak, and it actually had less parts than this thing. So this is interesting to see what is actually copied here, that so many parts was needed. I mean, my guess is that the tracks are making the biggest share of it, but still it's rather impressive in the box as well. So I just need to take out this cardboard box, which sits rather tight. It's this cardboard box. I mean, it's good for the protection, but it's really tricky to take it out. And there is plenty of space inside, so do not worry, your parts should be intact. I can see the sprues are even packed into the separate plastic bags. This is something unusual for this brand, so just give me a second to open it. And in the meantime, I can remind you that you can support me with a small donation. It's easy thing to do. There is a big red button on the website, and you can also do it via YouTube as well, because we have the membership on the YouTube channel, so you can choose your tier, and some of them actually have the benefits and even free kit as far as I remember. So here we have the first plastic sprue. As you can see, we have the turret, which is rather big on this tank, so that's why it is divided into several panels. But we also get the separate hatches, which is good. And you saw on the pictures of the finished model that it might be a handy addition for some diorama ideas, or maybe just for the figurine placement. I zoomed in so that you can see the external features on these parts. They look rather nice. This is the main barrel as far as I can guess, and if you flip it over, as you can see, it is molded as a one-piece part. We even have some features inside the turret, but well, do not expect a lot, because this is obviously not an interior kit, so there is no any additional things which you might expect from interior sets. And I guess why this sprue was packed separately, because this one is typical for this version of the large turret, so that's why it was included separately. And the main section, which is more or less standard for KV, it is included together with other plastic sprues, so I will show them in a second. We have here 3 frames, 2 absolutely identical. This is the Sprue C, and here, as you can guess, we get the drivetrain parts. That's why we get 2 of this, and I will just zoom in so that you can see what we are talking about here. So these are plastic tracks. We also get the road wheels, we get the drive sprockets, and of course the plastic tracks are always welcome. Even in this small scale, it will be a noticeable thing, and it will give you a better details. And as for the drive sprocket, you can see that the attachment point is in between the teeth, unfortunately, so be careful while working with this stuff, because it might take some time to get it into the right spot. But as for the tracks, as you can see, we have the one piece, or I would say the track length, which are molded as a one piece, so such design is easier than the separate links, and definitely welcome in this size. Next, we continue with the Sprue A, and this is the final plastic sprue in this kit. And as you can guess, here we get some of the hull parts. So for example, this top panel. On the top panel, unfortunately, we have all of the hatches pre-molded. We even have some Pioneer tools pre-molded, but at least we have the towing cables here. These are the track sections, additional ones which were not molded on the previous sprue. Here you can see another ones. These panels will be combined into the lower hull section, and again I remind you that there is nothing inside. And if I zoom in and show you the top panel, so as you can see, the pre-molded features, they look decent. But, well, with some careful weathering and painting, you can get even more attractive result. Here you can take a look at the tracks, and here you can take a look at the lower hull sections. Let's check what is inside, because I wonder, yeah, it's the large tab which will be serving as a guiding element, and that's pretty much all. So there is nothing what will ensure the overall alignment. So it might be a smart idea to find some plastic profiles and use them in order to align everything together, but this is already your decision whether you need such stuff, because I know some modders just assemble everything together and don't pay attention to such small issues. Next, we continue with the decals. So the decal sheet is not that huge, but here we have symbols at least for 2 marking options, as you can see, and printing quality looks nice, so I think it should be easy to apply those. And yes, I'm checking the marking guide, and it looks like, no, there are 3 marking options. So I will just zoom in and maybe close the lenses so that you can see what we are talking about here. So here you can see the first one, the second one, which is quite interesting because it has the green lower section, and here we have another, the third one, which is complete green. It's classic design for the, classic marking option for KV-2, so nothing special. And of course, nobody stops you from searching for some alternative options made by aftermarket, because usually it's just some simple symbols which you can replicate with a pointed brush and some paint. And now I'm zooming out, because here we have the assembly manual, which is printed as a black and white brochure. But as you can see here, we have the short history note on the first page. Then we continue also with some safety advices and assembly tips, and then we continue with assembly process. So of course it starts with the lower hull section. You have to combine all of the panels together. The suspension arms are also separate, but they're not movable, obviously. We also have the road wheels, drive sprockets. By the way, the drive sprockets are assembled out of 3 parts for each. And for the road wheels, obviously you have to do the repetitive task. And for the tracks, as you can see, the sections are rather big, and as I was saying, in this scale it's actually a really good advantage, because this way you will be getting a really nice fitment and you don't have to worry about any additional issues. But next thing to consider is that how to paint these tracks, because you will have to have them somehow precisely painted. Here we continue also with the side shelves or side skirts if you prefer. We install the top hull panel on the lower section assembled, so it might be a good opportunity to leave them aside, to paint the tracks and then to install this panel into the place, but it's your call. And then we continue with the turret. With the turret, I'm also having a question why the rear section was, well, it's not pre-molded. We have the separate hatch, but it's shown as a closed, so it's up to you again to decide whether you would like to open it. But at least top one is hinted as openable, let's say, so you can position it open. And of course, those ladders, you can replicate them with a metal wire. This way you will be able to replicate the bent parts, but again, it's a bit of additional work. And the towing cables, as you remember, were plastic. So as for the whole kit, if we do not consider this really strange redesign of the packaging, I think the kit looks nice and it should be a good opportunity to work on something sophisticated, and I think it will be even suitable for beginners. And of course I will be happy to hear your opinion, so do not forget to write it here in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video review as usual. Thank you for joining me today, and bye.